this psychological thriller.
Yes, I did.
About a teacher and her students, and something goes terribly wrong,
Yes,
which you
it
say
does.
up front, so I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah,
yes?
something does go terribly wrong. Yeah,
Yes.
the second page has the word monstrous on it, so
Yes. First of all, you know that I love the book. I love these kids, and I love the way that, you know, you get inside that system and their lives just enough to make me fascinated by them, but not in a, you know, I think of like Dickens or even like The Casual Vacancy, where they're really dissecting society and how it's failing certain people, and I feel like there's none of that distance in this. It's a very loving book.
It is, for a book which is all about grief and terrible things being done to people and suffered by people. I think it's a very loving book. I think it is at heart all about
Well, yeah, there's only passion and sympathy, even when you're describing, you know,
terrible deeds.
terrible deeds.
Yeah, I think I might be quite soppy when it comes to it. I think, you know, I feel like it's quite a humanist book. I know you always set out to make humanist work, that there is nothing to save us except ourselves and the way we treat each other. And so,
well, you know, having rejected sort of, you know, the idea that there's a grand plan, you do focus a lot on structures of narrative.
structure.
Obviously, Greek tragedy, which she is teaching them.
Yes.
And one of my favorite things in the book is how you really get a sense of them learning how these things that seem to have nothing to do with their lives can inform how they understand their lives, and always will. That stuff is very exciting. But that structure is there for you. Were you trying to evoke Greek tragedy?
Yes, I was trying to write a new Greek tragedy while these children were learning about real Greek tragedies. They would be acting out, or at least some of them would be acting out, a brand new quasi-Greek tragedy, I suppose. And I really wanted it to have a dramatic structure. The book's in 5 acts as opposed to in sort of regular chapters, and then the acts are divided into sections, which in my original draft, although not anymore in print, were scenes. And so it was written, I mean, I know that for somebody like you who's writing screenplays where you're never allowed to waste a single syllable, there's a lot of spare words in it because it's a novel, but it was written with that Aristotelian principle that every scene should advance the plot and reveal something about character. Always advance the plot, reveal something about character. And so there are not, I hope, very many moments where you think at the end of it, I don't know anything more about what's happening, what has happened, or who's talking to me than I did before, I hope.
Oh, I don't think there are any extraneous words. I think you used the right amount of words.
Hooray!
Actually, I wished for a few more.
Did you?
I could have, yeah, you could have gone twice as long. I mean, I got really sucked in. And Alex is obviously the chief identification figure. Do you think of her as like the heroine of the book?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I think she is the heroine to me anyway. Yeah, I think there are 2 heroes, and I couldn't.
Do we say heroine or do we just say hero?
I don't care.
Is it like actor where you're not supposed to say actress anymore?
Except at the Oscars, when I'm sure they'll take a Best Actress Oscar as soon as look at it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the rules are.
Because you know it does shift perspectives, and you know she is in a way the narrator.
Yes,
as opposed to sort of the active person.
As opposed to the diary.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the diary was always going to be fun to write, I thought, because it would mean that the point of Alex is that when she gets to Rankeela Street, when she gets to the Pupil Referral Unit, she is much like Oedipus at the start of Oedipus. She's blind. She can't see things around her because she just doesn't know what she's supposed to be looking for. She doesn't care. She's too busy being grief-stricken. And so she's in the room, but she's only half in the room. And then in her classroom is a person who can see things with astonishing clarity. She pays super attention, but her distortion comes from an emotional place.